deep end here at the Jägermeister workbench,
Yeah,
Farrell.
very fragrant one this time.
Certainly, going off the deep end for red snappers is something you got to do in most cases.
Yep.
Tell me.
You know, I grew up here in Florida, so you know one of the first fish I ever ate was red snapper. My grandfather used to come over to Cape Canaveral and go out on the Miss Cape Canaveral and go red snapper fishing. And you know he'd bring home a bunch of 20-pound red snappers. You know he didn't seem like he caught or kept any fish that were under that size. So back in the day, we could catch a lot of great big red snappers. And over the years, in the 70s and 80s, you know, the Loran came out and the GPSs came out, and the guys were able to get out there and start hammering these bottom spots. And we, you know, the red snapper fishery kind of fell off to what I call a not a very good norm, you know, a kind of a sorry fishery. But we got used to it, and you know, now they've shut them down a little bit, and I'm hearing a lot of guys, oh, there's more out there than ever before. And they're right, because that's working, and now we're starting to get big ones. And the reason we need to get the bigger ones is because one 24-inch red snapper, a female 24-inch red snapper, puts out as much eggs as 212 17-inch snappers.
Wow.
So one big snapper puts out so much more eggs. So you got to have those big ones. And when we keep keeping the big ones all the time, then they start to shrink, and the population shrinks and the size of the fish shrinks. But when we're going to go out catching them, probably the best thing to use to catch a red snapper is a chicken rig, and that's what this is. It's a multiple hook gang style deal with multiple hooks on it. The commercial guys use these 10, 12, 20 gangs on, you know, all kinds of hooks.
It's like a giant sabiki rig.
Correct.
Heavy duty
Exactly
sabiki
what
rig.
it is. And this one's made out of 60-pound fluorocarbon. Which is a pretty good size for red snapper. You can go up to 80-pound if you're catching some really big fish in some rocky areas. You're usually going to find red snapper on hard bottom around reefs, you know, or just regular hard bottom in water 100 to 200, 250 feet deep. So you're going to need some pretty strong leader material. Their teeth aren't, you know, they're pretty sharp. I wouldn't stick my finger in them, but they're not going to cut you off. You can still get away with using mono. Now, the bait you're going to use, this is a bait rig, obviously, is squid. You know, I like to use a thing called the surf and turf when I'm going, and I'll put a squid on one hook, you know, and these
now,
are.
How do you hook that, Dave, so that they don't chew it off?
Well,
so fast.
I like to this eyeball area has a lot of gristle and muscle around it, so I like to put it through the eyeballs area and then back through the mantle. And here's another thing: when you're using circle hooks, try not to ball all the bait up on the circle hook. A lot of guys will put all so that try to hide the hook, kinda. Well, a circle hook doesn't work that great when there's a whole bunch of stuff in between it and the jaw of the fish. When a snapper grabs it, he'll run off sometimes, and when he runs away, he'll run at such a speed that if you've got it locked down, you'll pull that circle hook right out because it'll have a big ball of the squid or one of these, you know, a nice big sardine. Use a half a sardine on one side and a squid on the other.
No, not my bench.
It's
Dave.
It's a good bench, man. That's what benches are for, right?
Oh,
And put one right through the eyeballs up here. That way your hook is, you know, your hook is out away from the bait a little bit. And it doesn't matter so much with a J hook because you're wanting them to swallow it, and you can go ahead and set the hook when they swallow it. But when you're using a circle hook, it's better to let the fish run away with it a little bit and then come tight slowly. And even when you're bottom fishing, and what you do is that thing will hit right in the corner of their jaw.
All right, any secrets? Listen, you got 45 seconds, 30 seconds to tell me any specific secrets.
If you're not catching them on the dead bait, use a live bait. Just catch a live bait right where you're at, and always look when you're looking on your sounder. If you can see the cone, snappers will be in like a triangular cone above the structure, and usually off to the down current side. But also, if you don't catch anything with a live bait, use a jig. All the little jigs work really good on them too.
Good job.
There's a bunch of them down there now.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
You can go out there and hammer them pretty good, but only keep 2.